getting applications for funding together. We'll help you do that. We've worked with the, as I said, I first started trying to get broadband into Weird Owl in 2003. It got put off because BT enabled the exchanges that were there, and so the strip up the middle where most of the people lived all joined BT and left the community enterprise with virtually no customer base. But that doesn't mean there's not a load of people who want broadband. The problem for those people has got worse and worse as the years have gone on, because they still get no service, and BT and the other people just aren't interested. For the reasons that were asked earlier. There isn't enough subscribers. Network design and guidance, working with the various organisations that we've got partnerships with, the likes of 802, presenting later on, etc., MTEL on the fibre, etc. We can work up solutions for the technical provision of the services. Negotiate with landowners. In Cumbria, where we've raised around fibre, etc. here, we've used the schools as points of contact. In Cumbria, if you go and see the head teacher and he says, yes, I don't mind you putting stuff on my school, that's all we need to do. We're also using the schools as points of contact in Weird Owl, and it turns out that the schools don't have the same authority. You have to get the permission of the Estates Department. And the manager of the Estates Department in Durham County Council has decided that his role is to work out whether or not it's okay based on the revenue stream he thinks Durham County Council is going to get from a social enterprise. And it's taken us months and months and months to overcome that. The fact that we'd already got permission from the IT department, who controlled the fibre networks, was irrelevant to him. He took it upon himself just to decide whether or not he thought this was a project he'd support. And if he doesn't give us the permission, then we can't connect to the schools. I didn't expect it, but it's taken months to sort it out. And advising on costs. You know, what's reasonable? What can you afford to pay? Resources. Do you go locally or do you do it with contractors? Get yourself a plan together. What comes first, chicken or the egg? Where do you start? Going back to those headings I had before, there isn't a simple answer. There isn't a right place to start. I would suggest to you that the easiest place to start is where you're going to get your money from. Are you going to raise it from community shares, etc.? Do you have a number of industries who may well be in the area who could help support it? Is there some pots of funding that might be available because of where you are? People like DEFRA, European Union, county councils, etc. That's a good place because that enables you to understand how much money you might have available. The next thing you need to do is, before those funders will begin to talk to you in any degree of seriousness, you need to have an understanding of the size of the potential marketplace. How many people can you get joined up? And so therefore there's an iteration between the funding side, the evaluation of the project potential, and obviously the type of organisation you want to set up. Because you won't get any money until you've got a legal organisation that you can apply for funding for and get bank accounts, etc. And as I indicated earlier, you might need to decide which one you want to use depending where you want to get your funds from. And once those three get going, and you might go round and round that circle for a long, long time, you can begin to look at the network design and other things. One of the challenges will be, of course, is that as the project starts to move forward in terms of you think you're going to get some money, etc., people will start saying, so could you put a business plan together and explain all the technology you're going to use? So again, you need to be able to get hold of that sort of information. Again, we're happy to try and see if we can help in any way. Proving the case, get some information together. This is information I put together for Weird Owl. I took the economic data from Durham County Council, looked at the number of jobs being shut down, a loss, looked at the categories of the people being involved. I pulled this out of a presentation I gave to Durham County Council. How can I help that? Why is it that you should give my area, my project, some money because this is what we can do to help you? And so in other words, what you've got to do, the message you've got to get across is how can you help your local authority, district council, county council, whatever, meet their deliverable objectives by doing something to help them, because that will encourage them to put some money into you. Business startups, what will Next Generation Access do to help businesses start up? Quote successful examples if you can. Great Aspey is a village not far from here. They've had a broadband connection for the last 4 or 5 years, something like that. Yeah. 2009 they did a survey of their users. 50% of their users, the business users, 63% of all of their users say that the broadband connection is crucial for the business. Whether they are small businesses or whether they're working for larger organisations, the fact they can go on and use the internet enables them to enhance the way in which they work with business. These are the sorts of information that potential funders like to hear, because then they think, well, okay, if we put our money into this project, we're going to get some tick boxes sorted. You need to have a clear focus on outcomes. Don't be too ambitious. If you look at projects I've talked about, Cybermoor, Daniel's described, and Weardale, two different communities. They're very similar but totally different in terms of broadband resources. Cybermoor, we've been going near 10 years. The people here have aspirations of how it gets better. So they want more speed, more reliability, more services and more benefits. People in Weardale just want something, because large numbers have had nothing at all. And where we get people in Cybermoor who complain that it's not good enough, it's a bit flaky, services and what I want it to be, if I pick that up and put it into Rooker, they bite my arm off because of the difference of people's aspiration. So therefore, by all means have ambitious targets, but don't overstretch yourself, is a suggestion. So, thank you. Any immediate questions? Some of these points we will expand on as we go through the day, but if anybody's got any questions, please.
You say that you will help. What do you charge for helping? How?
I'm glad you noticed that I somehow managed to convey the message that we don't do it for free. From our point of view, helping people to put a project together before they've got any funding, there's no point in us trying to charge people for it because they haven't got any funding, they're still looking at projects. So from that point of view, we'll give you the support for free. The way in which we are supporting the people in Hindford, which is the one down by Osler Street, and the way in which we're going to support the project in Weardale, is that we are putting in project management type support to help the project be realised. Where Cybermoor uses its personnel, such as Daniel or myself or Jenny or whatever, then we're charging an agreed hourly rate, which is in the project plan for that project. There's a project element there. And then going forward, we charge £3 per person per month if somebody buys all of the services from us. For that, we'll therefore provide the membership of all the organisations such as the Internet Providers Association, Tello, etc. We are registered to collect direct debits, etc. So we will actually collect the monies on behalf of the other community and then pay it into a separate fund for them. So basically the administration and the backup, helping to train local people who are the first point of contact within the community, we'll do that, and then we'll give them the support because of the way the networks relate. We can look in and see and help them from a remote distance. So we'll give entire support to help that community run for £3 per person a month. Okay.
What's the annual turnover of Cybermoor?
Cybermoor Limited does not make a profit. It doesn't even cover its own costs.
I'm thinking of it in terms of what, if we start up, what sort of size of our operation
Oh, okay.
are we looking for? What's your annual turnover in terms of
Sorry.
millions of
the community down in Hindford, which it is a separate organisation effectively, had 10 subscribers and they've now got 12 with another 3 or 4 waiting to join. They are charging their members £20 per month each, and we are charging them £3 to support them. Out of that £17 that's left, we then, because we buy the broadband connection for them and knock it off of their bill, we effectively run the accounts department for them. Each month we send them a statement. They are just about breaking even. So in other words, that each month the amount of money we hold in a separate account for them is going up very slightly. So even at 12 people, they are covering their own costs. But they started with an amount of equipment that had been funded by a grant from Advantage West Midlands. So therefore, if you're looking for funding, the element that you need the funding for ideally is the capital cost when the project starts. If you can manage to solve that problem, running a business, running a community group, even as small as 10 or 12, can be commercially viable at monthly costs that aren't that too far away from what you see on the television, etc.